Und damit hallo und willkommen zurück zu Valiant Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. Beim letzten Mal haben wir Kapitel 2 beendet. Starten nun in Kapitel 3 natürlich. Ehrlicherweise das Kapitel, auf das mich am wenigsten gefreut habe. Warum, werden wir noch zu kommen.
It was the middle of June. With summer well underway, a rainy spell seemed to hang over Trista. With our field study wrapped up, the other members of Class 7 and I returned to normal school life. But just when we thought we'd gotten used to the challenging lessons and the breakneck workload, a moment of dread washed over us, making our blood run cold.
As you all know, tomorrow marks the start of your midterm exams. I'm no good with all these papers and essays and circling answers, so I won't really be able to help you much. But I'm administering some of your tests, so I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines. Make me proud, class!
Sometimes I lie awake at night and wonder how you became our teacher.
As I recall, aren't you in danger of a lecture by the vice principal if our performance isn't up to par?
Oh, I'm not too worried about that. Most of you tend to get pretty high grades anyway. I can hardly wait to see how well you all do. Remember, the results will be announced next Wednesday. Your scores will be posted on the board by rank, so you can see how you compare to the other classes in your year.
Oh, the sooner this week is over, the better.
I can almost taste the tedium.
I'm not gonna let Emma squeak by me again this time.
Oh, one more thing. They're gonna stick the average score for each class up there on the board, too.
Our class averages?
I suppose their intent is to furnish us with motivation in the form of class bragging rights.
Well, I do enjoy a challenge.
Anyway, I know it's only noonish, but I think that's enough homeroom for today. You guys can stay here and study, or just head on back to your dorms. Up to you. Prez, if you'll do the honors.
Yes, instructor. Stand, bow.
Jeez, what should I do? I could stand to burn up on just about everything, honestly, but my biggest worry right now is math. I wouldn't mind doing a few study unit sessions with you if you think it would help. I need to review math anyway. I'm not sure how much time I'll be able to spare though. You mean it? That'd be a huge help. My biggest weak spot is Erebonian history, I guess. I doubt that comes as a huge surprise to anyone. I think I understand all the material we've gone over directly in class, but there are some finer points. I can aid you with that if you'd like. So in return, I'd appreciate a fresh pair of eyes to help revise my military science essay. It'd be my pleasure. Would you like to study with me, Fee? I guess so. Oh, would you do mind if I jumped in too? I could use a little refresh on my classic. Of course, you're more than welcome. Would you like to join us, Laura? No, I appreciate your invitation, but I'll have to pass this time. That's a subject I need to review in private. I'll see you all later. Huh? What's up with her? Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I could have sworn I saw her looking over at Fee. Hey, Reen? What is it? You heading back to the dorms? You're totally welcome to come study with us if you want. I wasn't planning on heading straight back. I might come and join you guys a bit later. Alright then. Perhaps we'll see you later. Day before the exams is a free day. Talking to certain characters will allow you to study with them. When you run out of bonding points, the time of day will change to evening and the main story will advance. Ja, wir haben 6 Dinger, aber erst was wir machen müssen, also kann ich mich eigentlich reportieren, aber es ist echt lange her, dass ich hier in diesem Gebäude rumgelaufen bin. Ich weiß nicht mehr, wo was ist. Hallo Colette. Dass du existierst, weiß ich noch. Music Room. Home Egg. Art Room. Mit Clara sprechen. Is there really any need to study for those tests? Should be easy enough to get a decent grade without the panic to grumble to study. That's quite the claim. I go to the class, it shouldn't be too hard to get a decent grade. So instead of wasting my time cramming, I'm going to focus on my art. Hä? Jetzt hier two. Dark Tower. Okay, would have a random 2 focus seem to be able to score decently in exams without studying at all and use the time for art instead. Stimmt, da war ja was. Es gibt ja erst Computer Room. Gibt ja in dem Spiel hier noch keine Indikatoren, dass man die Dinger bekommt. Principal's Office. Wo ist die Library? Hier sind Second Years. 2.4, 2.5. Custodian. Achso. Ja. Ach ja, stimmt. Nee, warte. Die Library gibt es hier ja so. Stimmt. Female student. That's Theresia. This is so hard, Theresia. Help me. Come now, don't give up too quickly. The two of us will get through these together, one by one. You really are hopeless when it comes to studying, are you? Gee, thanks for the reminder. See das? Da, Theresia. While Emily's better at sports, Theresia is better at studying. She helped Emily study for the midterm. Yay! Und gehen wir einmal hier in die zweite Etage. Hier ist Thomas. Hier ist die schwarze Katze. Meow. How did that cat manage to get in here? I guess it must have been looking for somewhere to get out of the rain. Actually, I have some fresh milk on me. Should I give her some? Yep. Meow. She seems so happy. Maybe I'll bring her some more another time. Maybe we will do that. So, und jetzt, was man machen muss, tatsächlich, um alle AP zu bekommen im Examen. War da so oben Who Baby? Nee, wo ist Who Baby? Gonna die first. Christ, who's gonna die first? Bild, was hier teilweise auf Dingern draufsteht. Aber mit Thomas reden. Oh, hello there. Did you come along to review some of what we covered in class? Actually, I was just passing by. Hehehe, oh come now, there's no need to be shy, not when it comes to history. Let's get started, shall we? Why don't we go over every little thing that might possibly come up on your exam? This sounds like it could be helpful if I can actually stay awake. Increase the knowledge of Erebonian history. Ja, und im Prinzip, ja genau, haben wir jetzt hier so ein paar Dinger, die man abgrasen muss. A book entitled Political Economics, the primer, sits primly on the shelf. Given the subject matter, this book seems really accessible. This would probably make for a good refresher. Increase the knowledge of political economics. Dann ab's ins Gymnasium. Dann haben wir das dritte Ding. Irgendwo hier auf einer Bank. Genau, hier vorne. Du hast dein Buch vergessen. Book entitled Military Science, a primer. This is one well-written book. The illustrations really bring things to life too. Wait a second, this probably belongs to someone? Nobody would leave a book like this behind, so I'm sure they'll be back soon. I'll just leave this here. Increase your knowledge of military science. Dann Front Entrance. Wer war Emily nochmal? Du Emily? Nee, das ist wohl sie. Emily? Ah, da ist Emily. Nee, das ist Monika. Fuck. Never mind, just ignore me, please. Okay. Wer war Emily? Cross Club. War sie nicht gerade? Becky, nicht Emily. Dumm. Hä, wie bin ich auf Emily gekommen? Warum ist es Becky? Shit, literally Becky. Wieso bin ich auf Emily gekommen? Emily ist legit dafür nicht relevant. Na, shut up, Hugo. I'm not taking any advice there. I can memorize everything in one go the night before. Becky, Becky, Becky. You won't be able to remember anything that way. The trick to memorization is to study up just before you go to bed. When you wake up, you review everything once more to see the deal. It's easy, it's efficient, and best of all, it works. I guarantee it, you should try it too, Reen. Might as well give it a shot, thanks. Not an efficient new memorization method. Dann... Also, so kann ich nie empfehlen zu lernen. Also, I mean... Es gibt das, was für euch am besten funktioniert. Ich habe mittlerweile aus vollen Karteikarten stumpf aufwendig lernen. That's the way to go bei mir. Aber mit Dr. Mary sprechen. These will be your first midterm, won't they? I have to admit, I'm a little nervous too. This is the first time I've come up with questions for them. Should be fine as long as you study up on everything we've covered in class. Don't be afraid to ask questions either. There were a couple of art history things I needed cleared up, actually. Oh my, a student is really relying on me for help. What a pleasant surprise. Art evolved in very complex ways during the Middle Ages, you see. Increased your knowledge of art. Hey. Dann hier unseren rauchenden Science-Professor. You probably know this already, but the faculty lounge is off limits while exams are going on. If you want to see a teacher, you've got to knock on the door and ask. Ah, you got something you want to ask me? I've actually got an orbital science question to ask you. Figures. Show me what got you stumped. I'll get you up to speed. Increase your knowledge of orbital science. Zweite Etage. Dann Computer. Art. Ich glaube, Musik ist hier, ne? Ja. Music Room. Irgendwo da hinten. Book entitled The Fanciest Guide to Erebonian Opera and Paintings. Why would one book cover such a different topic still? It'll probably cover some of the stuff on our exam. Wouldn't hurt to give it a read. Increased knowledge of art. Hey. Ah, diese Scheißecken. Einmal nochmal auf das gehen. Das ist Barriere, mit ihr werden wir gleich auch nochmal reden. Hier mit ihr werden wir jetzt reden. Weil sie die ist, die wir brauchen, okay. I love the rain. Let me let you in on a little secret. I don't even need to study thanks to a special little trick of mine. Page 44 will be on our orbital science exam. This is certain. This is fate. With fate of Stansgate. You're just making things up now. But what if she does have some sort of special powers? I mean, it couldn't hurt to study that page, just in case. Also, Barriere sollte man... Also, Barriere ist so mysteriös. How do I know? A girl has to have her secrets. Ja, Barriere. Aber nicht 6 Spiele später immer noch. Bitte, ich will ja nicht wissen, was dein Ding ist. Huh. So, Student Union Building. Wo... Man kann nicht... Doch, kann man. Ich wollte gerade sagen, hä? Die gute Linde. Studying is so boring. But doing here might make things interesting. In fact, I've got a great idea. Why don't we have a little Q&A competition? Every time someone gets a question wrong, they have to take off an article of clothing. Seriously? I'm not doing that. Never in a million years. Oh, okay. Guess we won't be studying at all then. That's not what I meant. As long as everyone keeps their clothes on, I'm fine with helping you to study. It'll probably help me too. Studied what might be on the exam. On literature club. The literature club. Bookshelf. Da. A book entitled Erebonian History and Pictures is on the shelf. What is this? It's more like a comic book than a traditional textbook. It does seem historically accurate though. Can't hurt to give it a read. Gut, ja, dann muss man sagen, ihr müsst nämlich mit Dr. Thomas in der Library reden. Ihr müsst das eine Buch in der Library lesen, das Buch, was im Gymnasium ist. Mit Becky sprechen, mit Instructor Mary sprechen, Instructor Makarov. Das Ding im Musikraum lesen, mit Beryl auf dem Dach sprechen, Linde und dieses Buch hier lesen. Genau. Das ist alles und dann können wir uns jetzt um die Bonding-Events kümmern. Yay. Haben wir 6 Stück von. Die werden wir auch noch auf jeden Fall diesen Part schaffen. Hier Elisa und Laura. Oh, are you two studying? Lisa probably met up with Laura because she was worried about her. Yeah, we both figured we had a lot of art to brush up on. It's probably not our most important subject in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I've never had to deal with a series of exams right in a row like this. Laziness could very well be tantamount to failure. Would you like to join us, Reen? Jawohl. I'd love to. The exam's supposed to be focused on the basics of illustration, right? You got it, let's get started. How about you ask the first question, Reen? Sure. Okay, first question. Elisa, what is a dessen? I think it's a drawing that makes use of monochrome lines of varying heaviness to highlight the way light hits its subject. You think correctly. So, Laura, what exactly is a sketch? A sketch portrays its subject roughly with very little in the way of detail. I suppose it could be likened to an early first draft of a drawing. That's right, sketches and dessins are basically two sides of the same coin, since both are used to start a painting. The big difference is that dessins usually take some time to finish, whereas sketches are pretty quick. But there's a method that's even quicker and more basic than sketching. Any ideas, Laura? That would be crocus, I believe. You two know your stuff, but maybe that just means we should be using harder questions to study with. Let me see if I can find some. Hey, Reen, if you want I can ask the next set of questions. It's hardly effective studying if you don't get to answer any questions yourself. It's okay, don't worry about it. Just give me a minute here and I'll find you a really good one. Well, if you insist. Maybe we should have expected this. He really is a kind-hearted person. And so the three continued their art study session. Your bond with Elisa strengthened and your bond with Laura strengthened. Sehr schön. So, dann machen wir weiter. Student Union Building 1. Dann sind nämlich Emma und Fee. Are the two of you going over Erebonian history? I can't memorize things like this, because it's all pointless. Fee, that seems a little harsh. Oh, I know. Why don't you join us, Reen? I'm sure it would make studying more enjoyable for Fee too. That sounds like a good idea to me. The exam's going to be focused on the War of Alliance, right? That's right. Shall we start from the beginning then? After that, Dracos gathered soldiers in the North Highland, and in the year 952 of the Septian Calendar, he liberated the capital, bringing the war to an end. Excellent, well done, Fee. I guess it's stuck. Incidentally, the war came to an end in July of that year, which is next month, so that's easy to remember. They say it was raining in Heimdall that day, but legend has it that the moment Emperor Dreikel stepped into the city, the rain stopped. Huh, that's neat. Yeah, that seems like a story that'll stick in my memory. You're a pretty good teacher, aren't you? Well, I'm always using tricks like these to help me remember things. If you're having fun while you study, it makes it that much easier for the materials to stick in your memory. Das kann ich bestätigen. Interesting, so that's your method. Well, if you can do it, we can do it too. Shall we finish this stuff off then? Please. Wien stayed with Emma and Fee for a while longer, making sure they knew the Erebonian history back to front. Und das, was Emma gerade gesagt hat, kann ich so quasi biologisch bestätigen, denn wenn Verknüpfungen bestehen, die an die eigene Lebenswelt, die möglich an der eigenen Lebenswelt sind, also wenn man neues Wissen mit etwas, was nah an der eigenen Lebensrealität dran ist, verknüpfen kann, ist es einfacher, dass neue Kanäle sich binden und somit eine größere Nutzung der Neuronen besteht. Gut, aber genug dazu, machen wir weiter mit dem nächsten Lernteil. Das ist hier vorne. Oh, are the two of you studying military science? Looks like you guys are tearing through things too. More or less. You caught us just as we reached the section on military symbols. Care to join us? Sure, couldn't hurt. I didn't know a thing about military science until we entered the academy, so I'm not feeling terribly confident. Not as though most schools teach military minutiae alongside literature and math. We're all in the same boat here. Either way, we'd be happy to have another person to paddle, have a seat. Wenn es so weitergeht, an meine Zunge gleich raus und trocken. Then let's begin. Map marking symbols are used to represent an assortment of different units and formations. This is the symbol for infantry. Infantry. Rin, try to draw the symbol for headquarters for memory. Gotcha, I'm pretty sure it's this. Gaius, think you can draw the symbol for an armored troop? Sure, this should be it. Now, I have a tough one for you. What does this symbol mean? That's engineer, right? You got it. Whew, there's so much to memorize for this class, and the fact that we're going in blind makes it even worse. These seem like raw basic too. Given that not all of us will end up involved with the military, it does seem a little excessive. But bear in mind that our military science class is to teach us how to deal with harsh situations efficiently. In that sense, there's plenty to learn, even if we never find ourselves on the battlefield. That's probably why it's mandatory. If it could save our lives, we owe it to ourselves to do well. Agreed. Ich frage mich gerade, also zum einen, wenn jemand von euch Bescheid weiß, gerne in die Kommentare schreiben, woher die Inspiration darf und sind. Also haben die sich am Arsch gezogen, die Symbole. Oder was ich mir eher vorstellen kann, ist, dass das an die echte Welt angelehnt ist, dass sie eine halt Military Code quasi da selber benutzt haben, der wahrscheinlich dann in Japan oder vielleicht auch woanders standardmäßig genutzt wird. Und was wollte ich noch sagen? Fällt mich mal an. Juices, Gaius and Wien stayed together for a while longer, continuing to test each other on military science. The one with Juices strengthen und with Gaius auch. So, dann der nächste ist in der Library. Aber bevor wir mit dem weitermachen, mach mal kurz einen kurzen Cut und trinken einen Schluck. So, da sind wir wieder. Und machen weiter mit Elliot und Matthias. Oh, so this is where you are? Wow, when you guys study, you two don't mess around. Well, no better motivator than fear, right? I like that. Start tomorrow and we've got to know our Orbus science. I want to make sure I study as much as I possibly can before then. There's no such thing as too prepared. Besides, this is our last chance to get a full day of studying in. How about it, Wien? Up for one last marathon study session? Ich hatte irgendwie ein sehr weirdes Gefühl, weil ich habe Zeit mit der Aufnahme. Fangen in einem Monat meine Klausuren an und irgendwie kriege ich so langsam durch diese Sequenz Lust zu lernen. Bild. Sure, I'll join you guys for a while. Orbital science isn't quite my forte anyway. In that case, let's get started with the basics. Sounds good to me. Aber ich werde halt nicht anfangen mit Lernen, weil wir haben 5:13 Uhr morgens. So, orbital energy is generated by Septian, right? And it differs from other types of energy in that it replenishes itself over time. It's hard to imagine what life would be like without it. Orbital energy is in everything. Lighting, railways, telephones, battle openings. That segues nicely into our next topic. Let's talk battle openings. The first key feature is their portability. The second is the ability to synchronize with their user, allowing them to easily use orbital arts. Magic for the everyman. Feature 3 is their flexibility. Battle opening capabilities can change dramatically based on the quartz within. That summary wouldn't have been more perfect if we read it out of a textbook. But I'll mark you. I can't believe you could rattle off all that without even stopping to think. But if you already have the basic down, you're just trying to help me instead of focusing on what you really need to study. No, it's not that. Reciting the information I've learned like this helps it stick in my memory. Das stimmt tatsächlich. It might look flashy, but this is really productive studying for me too. Well, everyone needs a method. As I said earlier, it's not possible to be too prepared. And while we still have a lot of ground to cover in our orbital science review, I would appreciate it if you would help me study for a few others when we're done. Of course, I'd be happy to. Really? Well, thanks. Also der Trick hinter dem Reen, Marcus and Elgit continued the orbital science studies, feeling much more confident about the exam every minute. Der Trick hinter dem, dass man durch selber beibringen besser oder auch lernt, liegt halt darin, dass, um es jemandem vernünftig zu erklären, musst du ein Thema so verstanden haben, dass du es runterbrechen kannst. Das ist halt auch die Krux des Lehrerseins, deswegen müssen Lehrer leider, das ist zumindest die Theorie dahinter, warum Lehrer einen deutlich höheren Stand haben müssen, einen akademischen Stand haben müssen als Schüler halt, logischerweise, dass sie halt das alles so runterbrechen können. Ich gehe mit der Theorie dahinter halt nicht so ganz mit. Ich fände es sinnvoller, wenn man das so festigen würde, also wenn man das Schulwissen ein bisschen höher gehen würde und einfach dafür das Schulwissen deutlich mehr festigen würde, dass man damit das in der Lage ist, runterzubrechen. Aber das schweift mich vom Thema ab. Gehen wir zu den beiden. Hey Barriere, what's up? Hold on, let me guess. You were studying away nice and diligently when your orbital lamp suddenly went out. Swing and a miss. Your doom seems pretty relaxed despite how close the midterms are getting. Who do you think you're talking to? I know better than anyone that it's pointless to start studying this late in the game. How's that working out for you? Well, it's actually pretty good when it comes to the practical stuff. Survival skills, first aid, and all those kinds of things. Really? See, all stuff you don't need to study for. But if you're feeling shaky about any of it, I'm happy to teach you a thing or two. Sure, I'll take you up on that. Wait, you serious? The idea of Crow teaching anyone anything is a little unnerving. Were you just joking? Nah, it's cool. Might as well show you the ropes. Cool if we borrow a share too, George? Go for it. And so Crow passed all of his knowledge on to Reen. That about sums up what they'll be testing you first years on. You should probably make sure you've got CPR done too. I do actually need to brush up on that. Do you think it'll come up? It's only one of the most basic things anyone would expect out of a source student, so it wouldn't hurt to know. Right, here's how it goes. If you find someone who's collapsed, first up is checking whether or not they're conscious. If they are unconscious, it's safe to assume that they're in trouble. Next, you're going to want to shout for help. You're not going to want to try and handle this on your own, got it? The more people you have helping you out, the better their chances are to survive. That makes sense. Next up is making sure they're breathing. If they aren't, or something's weird about the way they are, it's CPR time. This basically involves giving them a repeated combination of chest compressions and rescue breath. You need to keep this up until their pulse and breathing return. Got it? Don't give up until the very end. Understood. He does seem like the kind of person I could count on in jam. I guess George was right about him being good at practical stuff. Now all you've got to do is put that into practice. See a girl in need, you better get right in there. When she wakes up and sees you've saved her life, instant fireworks. Your hands and lips are in the right spots already. Every time I think anything positive about you, you go and say something like that. Oh, well, this was useful though. Thanks for taking the time to teach me. Good luck, my son. Go out there and get some good grade for me. Ach, Quo. Ach, Quo. Wenn du deinen letzten Satz da nicht gebracht hättest, ne? Besonders wenn man bedenkt. I guess Spoiler für dieses Spiel, wobei ich habe ja mittlerweile schon längst angekündigt. Also wer noch hier ist, nachdem ich hier die ganze Zeit ja auch über zukünftige Sachen rede, bin ich noch selber schuld. Ich meine, wenn man bedenkt, dass Quo ja 2 oder 3 Jahre älter als alle ist. Quo ist, glaube Anfang 20, die hier sind alle 17 oder sowas. 17, 18 um den Dreh. Oh, hi Reen. How goes the studying? I suppose it's probably fine. But these are going to be my first midterms ever, so I'm more than a little nervous. Ah, first years, how innocent. It doesn't help that military academies have a lot of subjects other schools don't, but you'll get used to it. That's true. Combat studies and military science to name two. Oh, and you're going to want to make sure that you're ready for the political economic exam too. Why's that? Well, it's mustache man subject. That's not a very nice thing to call Vice Principal Heinrich, Angie. He does seem like the type to write a ridiculously hard exam. Oh, I know. How about I give you a hand studying for it, if you're free at least? Are you sure? Of course. You're always helping me out, right? Political economics is Thors' strongest subject. You wouldn't want to pass this up. Well, if you're offering, I'd really appreciate it. I sure am. Let's get started then. Thus, Reen and Thors' study session began. Most of the stuff I was unsure about makes a lot more sense now. That's good to hear. We should probably go over some current affairs too. For an exam. Yeah, the vice principal has a habit of putting questions based on recent news into exam. This year, maybe we should go over some recently enacted laws. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing he'd put in there. Just so most people could be caught off guard, get it wrong, and get lectured at it for being indifferent about society. I'd rather avoid that. Recent laws. The Financial Transactions Act from last year is one of the best known, I suppose. It requires you to inform prospective buyers of the risks when selling them stocks or securities. A number of people have suffered massive losses buying shares lately. Ja, das haben wir in Trade from Zero behandelt. So it was passed to keep people informed. So that's the history behind the Financial Transactions Act. Then there's the Imperial Transportation Act, which determined the rules of the road for drivers. That was last year too. There are more and more people buying cars lately, nobles and commoners, but car accidents were getting out of hand. And that was especially true in Heimdall, which is why that law was enacted there first. I'll have to try and remember that. And then there's the Provisional Taxation Act, which impacted just about every province you could think of. In other words, the fancy name for the much reviled tax increases. They're being enacted in the provinces, almost doubling land and business taxes. You've probably at least heard about them. I have, yeah. It seemed like a pretty major topic back in Celtic. If he's going to set a question about a recent law, it's probably going to be about one of these three. Hopefully that'll be some help at least. Even if none of them come up, you've really helped me out. I'm feeling a lot more confident now. Thank you both for all of your help. I didn't do anything at all. I'm just hanging out. If there's anything else you want to know, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Thanks, I will. Thor, best girl im Spiel immer noch. By far and a mile, ehrlicherweise. Oh, it's already time to head home. I didn't even realize because of rain. I guess I should get ready to head back to the dorms.
Excuse me?
Ah, hello.
I do apologize for stopping you on a rainy day like this. Do you know if this is the building in which I might find the principal's office?
Oh, yeah, you're in the right place. His office is in the East Wing, first floor. The receptionist might have gone home already, but I can show you the way if you'd like.
Thank you for your kindness, but I couldn't possibly trouble you more than I have already. I'll be able to find the way, I'm sure. Well then, if you'll excuse me, Master Reen.
Wien, dein Gehirn braucht gerade ganz schön lange.
Wait a minute. How does she know who I am?
Reen?
Hey there, Elisa. Heading back to the dorm?
Yep. Emma and the others are staying a little longer to cram a little more. But I figured I'm not going to learn much more today, so I might as well call it a night and start prepping for tomorrow.
Right. Well, you're going my way, so what do you say we head back together?
Sure, okay. Hey, it's not often the two of us get to walk back to the dorms together, is it?
Well, at least I got something good out of this downpour.
Is there even a filter between your brain and your mouth?
Nah, no need for that between friends. But you're in good company. My sister's asked me that before too.
She must be a saint to have put up with you all these years. Anyway, how do you feel? All prepped and ready for our exams?
Not sure. I gave it the best I've got. Still, I've got that nagging feeling I could have hit the books a little harder. I wish I was as smart as you. Back when we took the entrance exam, only Emma and Machias scored higher than you, right?
Eustace came in a little higher than me too. Back home, I usually came in near the top in exams. I guess that goes to show that Erebonia has no shortage of smart people.
No doubt about that. Bookworms pour in here from all corners of the Empire. You said you're from Ruhr, right? Coming out on top in a city that size is still pretty impressive.
I suppose, though that was just at the Sunday school level. Aren't you curious about, my family and stuff?
You mean the mysterious Elisa R., agent of national intrigue? Well, yeah, of course I am. But you probably have good reasons for keeping it under wraps, so I don't want to pry.
It's not that major or anything, especially compared to what you and Fee have told us about yourselves.
I've never really thought my family circumstances were a big deal, though Fee's past sure came as a surprise. I I wonder now, when I look at her, what her life in a Jaeger Corps must have been like.
It seems like Instructor Sarah knows more about her past than we do. Back at the entrance ceremony, I got the impression they'd met before.
Same. Oh, speaking of weird meetings, I ran into someone kinda strange earlier.
Oh?
Yeah, I was talking to her just before you called to me.
We told Elisa about the woman in the maid uniform.
A maid who knew your name? This isn't the part where it turns out she knows you because you've tried to hit on her in town before, is it?
As if an upstanding guy like me could pull off the Casanova act. She seemed a couple years older than us, maybe 20 or so.
A maid in her early 20s.
Something wrong?
No, just thinking. There's no way it could really have been her. Mother keeps her far too busy to find the time to come here. Ahem. Anyway, maybe the upper class dorm has a new hire starting out or something? Though that wouldn't explain how she knew your name. Maybe you're just more popular than you let on.
If only.
Midterms, day 1. The next day, the first of 4 grueling days of midterm exams began. Erebonian history, the Middle Ages War of Alliance, was brought to an end by Emperor Drakus. When did the war start? July 952. This should be the right answer. Mr. A wants to draw a rough, colored watercolor image. Which of the following styles would be more appropriate? And sketch. Jetzt zweiter Tag. Figure 1 depicts a military formation. What type of unit is currently advancing? Das ist die Armored Division. Following statements about openings all purport to be true. Which one is not? Ability change based on quote, they synchronize with their user, allow arts usage without quote, orbital energy recovers over time. Yeah, allows art without using of quotes. Of the following laws enacted last year, which came into force first in Heimdall. Das war der Imperial Public Transportation Act. Der finale Tag der Midterms. Emergency CPR is divided into roughly 4 stages. A. Check the person is breathing. B. Check the person is conscious. C. Perform chest compression and rescue breath. D. Call for help in a loud voice. Put these stages into the correct order. So, ich muss auf jeden Fall mit B anfangen. Conscious ist erstmal das Wichtigste zu checken. Dann nach Hilfe suchen oder gucken, ob sie atmet. Erstmal nach Hilfe suchen. This should be the right answer. Congratulations on making it through 4 days of exams. And what do we know? It looks like the rain ended right along with them. Clearly this is the goddess's way of rewarding you all for your hard work. I don't think that reasoning would stand up to scrutiny. Phew, I'm totally spent. It's over. You've worked really hard, Fee. Ooh. Anyway, today's a free day, so take the chance to unwind and blow off all that pent-up exam stress. They'll post results next Wednesday, so take it easy until then. But don't relax too much, because you've got your next practical exam next Wednesday afternoon too. With all the intensive studying, I'd completely forgotten about that. You could start to be a little more considerate with the timing of your announcement. So next Wednesday is when we'll know where we're going for our next field study. Yep, you'll be shipping out that weekend for another exotic trip. Anyway, make the most of tomorrow, everyone. You've earned at least one day off. I guess I should probably attend club practice once in a while. Oh, and one more thing, I've got some business to take care of out of town after we're all done here. I won't be back until tomorrow night, so don't, burn the whole dorm down while I'm gone or anything. Okay. Probier's.
Oh, now that the exams are over, I feel free as a bird. And I'll keep on soaring, at least until the results come back.
I sympathize, but personally, I've got a good feeling about these. How about you, Emma? How do you think you did?
Well, I don't think I did too badly, all things considered.
Just stop before you embarrass yourself.
We'll just have to wait and see what next week's results look like. Anyway, what do you think that was all about with Instructor Sarah?
Oh, you mean that whole thing about going out of town to meet someone? Going out of town? Won't be back until tomorrow night? It's almost as if...
She's going to meet her secret lover?
Impossible. The Empire hasn't yet turned out a man desperate enough to woo that alcoholic typhoon.
You have a point. I can't deny she's got the looks to snare a man, but with that personality and that lifestyle...
You guys are terrible. Totally agreed, though.
Ouch. Not surprised to hear that from you, though, Reen. She always seems to dump the most work on you.
Will you be helping the student council again tomorrow?
That's the plan. Heck, I'm almost looking forward to being the student council's errand boy after holding up studying for so long.
Perhaps so.
Oh, please let us know if you plan on exploring the old schoolhouse.
Yeah, I'd be glad to lend a hand this time.
Thanks. Better watch out, though. I might take you up on that offer.
Ooh, looks like we're all up for a little exploration this time. Come to think of it, where did Gaius run off to? He mentioned the principal wanted to have a word with him. You think he went there?
Oh, yeah. Wonder what that was about.
I hope he hasn't gotten into trouble. I mean, I doubt he would.
I have no idea. Thea and Laura left early too. I was kind of hoping we could all walk back to the dorm together for once. That sounds nice.
Hey, so this might just be my imagination, but do those two seem kind of awkward around each other to anyone else?
Really?
So you think so too? It seems like it started around the beginning of the month. I wonder if something happened then. It's like they've been avoiding each other ever since.
You say that, but I did not take either as the type to dwell on petty issues or misunderstandings.
Neither did I. We've been trying to suss out what the problem between them is, but so far, no luck.
I wonder if that's what that was all about.
Did you see something, Machias?
What happened?
Well, do you remember the day we gave our group reports on what happened during last month's field study? We gave a truthful account, including the part where Fee used an explosive to blast open the door to my cell.
Yeah?
That's when we found out that Fee used to be in a Jaeger Corps. That really threw me for a loop, but what does that have to do with Laura?
Well, when that came up, I couldn't help but notice Laura had a rather unpleasant expression. It flashed across her face for only a moment, though, so I wondered if I had just imagined it.
Interesting.
But even if we assume that's true, what reason would she have to be upset?
I can hardly hazard a guess.
We all have certain things we'd rather keep to ourselves. We even have a member of this very class who remains tight-lipped about her own family, after all.
Do you really have to drag me into this?
My apologies. I meant no offense. I do have my suspicions as to your lineage, however.
Really?
Ugh, you. Now, getting angry won't accomplish anything.
Don't worry. We're not going to twist your arm into telling us. When you're ready to talk about it, we'll be ready to listen.
It's not like I'm trying to make a big deal out of it or anything. It's just, if everyone knew, it'd make things awkward between us, and I don't want that.
Welcome back, my lady.
Huh? What? Sharon?
It's so delightful to see you again.
Oh, hey. It's that maid I ran into the other day.
You know her?
What are you doing here? She didn't. Mother didn't.
But of course, I was sent here at the behest of the chairman herself. Starting today, I will be assuming the position of caretaker for Class 7's dormitory. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, everyone. My name is Sharon Kruger. I am a servant in the employ of the Reinford household, Lady Elisa's family. I will do all I can to be of service to you, so please keep me informed of anything you might need.
So viel, Kapitel 3. Beyond the Railways. So viel dazu, dass Elisa ihren eigenen Zeitpunkt wählen kann.
Whoa!
Worüber Elliot so überrascht ist und was wir an unserem Freitag so machen werden, das werden wir beim nächsten Mal machen. Ich hoffe, euch hat der Part gefallen. Wenn ja, lasst gerne einen Daumen nach oben da, abonniert den Kanal, um nichts weiter zu verpassen. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Bis dahin. Ciao, ciao.